Hello, horror fans. My name is Nomad, and welcome to the Horror Light Podcast, where we discuss horror in all shapes and forms, from scary stories to video games and everything in between. Today's topic is all about scary stories and what makes a scary story. A scary story is defined as something that is said or written to make people feel frightened and think that a situation is more unpleasant or dangerous than it really is. So today we'll be reading a scary story from Reddit user Makzattack. I'm sorry for butchering your name, but all credit goes to you for this story. So, let's get on into it. This is the last woman standing. I sat inside of the bunker with my knees drawn to my chest. My chin rested on them as the sweat beaded down. The putrid, rotten smell of flesh burned my nostrils as if flames were being fired through. It was hard to breathe down here, but I didn't have much of a choice. My father had built this bunker a couple years before his passing, always being paranoid something like this may happen. Nobody actually believed he'd be right. He was always known as Crazy Dave, the guy who didn't know fact from fiction, believed every conspiracy theory he heard, and dedicated his life trying to prove them. He didn't live long enough to see this prediction come true, though. The one that you see in most sci-fi movies. You know. The ones where something goes horribly wrong in a lab and the next thing you know, the world's gone to hell with survival of the fittest being the only thing anyone knows. That's exactly what happened. Except it wasn't supposed to go down this way. The strain of the virus being created was supposed to be used as a weapon of war. Biological warfare. What could go wrong? Why not use something to scare people, create something to be used to win? Why not end up fucking up so badly that you cause billions of unintentional deaths? After all, not like the movies warned us. Clearly, shit can go wrong, dumbasses. My stomach grumbled as the little food remaining down here was mostly expired. The small gardens being my main source of food. Not like they were much help anyways. This apocalypse began 4 years ago when I was 13. It wiped out everyone as far as I know. Seems insane that everyone's dead except for some random 17-year-old girl. I thank my family for that. Everyone's gone but me. Even my Aunt Shelley, my mom, I inhaled sharply as they began hitting against the bunker entrance. If only they knew it was no use trying to get in. I'm not opening that door anytime soon. I'd rather give in to starvation to become one of them. I glanced around the bunker, the lifeless gray of it all emitted from every corner. Damn it, Dad, of all the colors. Gray? The bland shade washed over me, bringing a depressing feeling with it. The most colorful thing in here was my pink hoodie, now tattered and bloody, some of the blood not being my own. Not that I minded at this point. I was used to it. It was matted in my hair, my blonde hair, almost dyeing it. The dark red of a rose, not nearly as pretty as one though. I'd always wanted red hair, just like my aunt. Genetics weren't on my side though. Amanda, run! My mother's voice began to crash over me in waves. Every ripple in emotion and every splash of memory. I hated when this happened randomly. Her pleas for help as they attacked were engraved in my brain. Then my aunt's voice began, "Amanda, get down!" I broke down sobbing, shoving my head further into my knees as the tears fell endlessly soaking into my jeans. Telling myself there was nothing I could do to save them just doesn't work, considering that it's not true. It's my fault. I'm paying the price for it now. Eternal loneliness. They gave their life for me while I had to watch them die. I pulled my hoodie over my head. I'd rather it was me than them. Isn't that usually how grief works? Now the zombie that remains of them was out there wandering around, waiting for death yet again. That's what happens. The virus kills all of humanity inside of them, and then eventually the zombify itself too. At first, many began looking for a cure. Nothing ever came out of it, though. The virus spread too quickly, bringing destruction and death with it. I began to nod off, exhausted from crying. I began to dream of memories, fresh ones. I ran through the deep green forest. Twigs snapped and scraped every part of my legs. My dark jeans were coated in crimson stains. Pairing with the mud-caked Carolinas, I must make it to the bunker. Back to Mom, to Auntie. My fist clenched, the small hammer in my hand. The only weapon I had, which wouldn't do much good against those waves. The waves of those things. My thoughts seemed to race faster than my legs. Blood trickled down my forehead, beading with sweat. My throat burned with every breath a dagger and shallowing by the moment. Hours before, Aunt Shelley, Mom, and I were in the old mall outlet scavenging, looking for clothes, tools, food, anything that could be of use while Mom waited and watched outside. Our trip didn't go as planned as the electrical fence holding back a herd of the infected stopped working. We'd made a run for it, but of course, with my luck, I got tripped up. I ended up having to hide out in an old tree fort. I told my mom and Shelley to meet me there and to hurry. I'd catch up. Just wait for the herd to fall back a little. I hadn't wanted to be the cause of their deaths, but now we're here. The screams echoed through the woods, bouncing off trees. Time froze as I broke through the tree line. I felt a sense of relief that I hadn't felt in forever, if at all. I'd made it. I survived. Although I can't say the same for the people I heard screaming. My heart pounded in my ringing ears as I pulled the greasy hair out of my mouth. I'm not sure what happened, but it's like my brain lost all function. I wasn't on high alert anymore. My breathing had started to even out, knowing the bunker was just down the hill to the left. As quick as it had evened, it stopped. My ears were filled with the most terrifying thing I'd heard, and the thing that would haunt me in my nightmares. My mom's screams. I spun around as I saw her bolting up the hill like lightning. I had never seen her run that fast or look so scared in her life. Hell, that says a lot for us living in an actual end of days. "Amanda! Amanda, run!" she yelled. My heart skipped a beat. Screw that. Multiple beats. That's when I noticed I heard the zombies coming my way. By the time I realized it was too late, Aunt Shelley had reached me and pushed me back, sending me tumbling down the hill near the bunker. I heard my mom screaming again as they reached her, along with Shelley's cries and eventually screams of anguish. I woke back up to reality as I heard something outside of the bunker door. A woman's voice? That's not possible, right? Hello? Is anyone there? The woman said breathlessly. I jumped to my feet in disbelief and ran to the door, nearly tripping. Yes, I'm here, I said with tears of joy. I put the combination in and the door flung open. But by the time I realized it was too late, I wish I'd known they'd learn to speak. That was The Last Woman Standing. All credit belongs to Reddit user Makzattack. Be sure to give them some love. Link to the story itself will be linked in the episode description. If you all enjoyed this episode, please send it to someone that you think would enjoy it as well. If you have other scary stories that you would like to hear me tell, let me know. And with that being said, everybody, my name is Nomad. This has been the Horror Light Podcast, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.